Hi there, it is the 14th of September 2020, and I thought I'd hop back on today and do a short video on the week ahead. In other words, from September 14th to September 21st, which is pretty well the end of Virgo. We may have felt that September goes very fast, that Virgo just came and now we're getting up there, we're getting towards the end of Virgo, and where did it go? What happened? Well, it is a mutable sign, and the planets seem to move through a mutable sign without resistance, more effortlessly. When October comes, we get back into the cardinal signs, and we are going to have Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn, Mars, Sun, and that will be it. But they'll all be in cardinal signs. There's going to be a lot of restless, moving energy. So it's like being in a river that's kind of going along. It hasn't felt serene, obviously, with the Mars squares that we've been talking about. But compared to what's coming, it will feel like all of a sudden the current has speeded up and we're in a fast lane. So what I did with the cards, I'm just going to do a straight tarot card reading today. I'm not going to do more astrology. I'm going to talk about the new moon tomorrow or the next day. So I just basically wanted to see what cards come up over the next, for the next week. So I put 6 cards inverted in my deck, which means they'll have an opposite meaning to what they normally would have. Usually it's a more intensified meaning or the opposite of what it appears to be. So we'll talk about that as we come to the cards. Maybe none of those 6 cards will show up. There are 84 cards in a tarot deck, so we're never quite sure which ones are going to be there in our actual spread. I did want to say that we're really praying for the firefighters and for a whole west coast of the United States, and also for Louisiana getting further rainfall, that everything holds up there and they don't get flooded, and just for a general sense of lowering the heat of what's going on in our country right now, because it's getting more and more tipping toward violence. And so I just like to see what comes out today. The card that I got as the card of what we should be focusing on this week is the card of truth. So that was in the Mother Mary deck, and that was number 12. So I'm just going to read you a very small amount of it, and then I'm going to do a tarot card reading. So, Our Lady of Truth, when you choose to be in your truth, expressing and being you, you are then in a higher vibration of being. In those moments, your voice and every action, it'll ring true like a bell. And that's very true if you look in physiology at the body. When it tells a lie, it actually, everything contracts in the body. It's not a natural flow. Even the blood supply, the blood pressure goes up, the cells contract, everything contracts because it's not natural. Our heart closes. It's against our physical, emotional, mental, spiritual being. So the truth right now, when we speak our truth, it's not to speak our truth to be right. It's not to speak our truth to put somebody else down. It's to speak our truth from a place of integrity, because when we're in a sense of full-on integrity with what we really feel and know to be true, and we don't fudge it, our vibration is stronger. And that's why going into fear is believing an untruth. To go into a fear zone is to accept something that someone has placing on you, where in your inner being, you know that all is well at the deepest core level, because underneath everything is the divine source of being. It says your world is changing, triggered by the transformations already happening within you as you grow. The change that's happening is raising your energetic frequency. You may find you can't stand some things that you used to like or love. You can't quite fit into the old life, and yet you don't feel fully anchored in the new life. That feels pretty accurate. We just don't feel anchored there yet, because we haven't set down our inner table, our inner foundation, put all the legs on the table of our inner self, of what we value, of what we hold to be true, of what is aligned with our deepest integrity and our deepest wisdom. So let's see what's coming up. So this will be the central energy of what is coming up this week. Well, this is the card of clarity and truth. Slicing through the nonsense, getting right to the heart of the matter. Page of Swords is a communicator. So we are communicating our truth, but we're also clearly resonating with things that are said to us that we know to be true or untrue. We're getting it faster, more clearly, because we're staying true to ourselves. If we are aligning with something we really don't believe in, then we kind of numb ourselves over and put a gloss on ourselves and don't have our own truth to bring back to the situation, because we've already compromised our truth. So the card this week is definitely the card of truth. What is crossing us this week? What is the challenge for us this week? The challenge is that we may sometimes feel alone. We may feel, I'm alone in my own truth. But if you look at the Hermit, he's looking at the light and he's considering his own inner truth, and he's seeking his own inner truth. And the reason it's a challenge card is if you're living in a state of distraction by the outside world and all the horrific things that are going on around us right now, you will lose connection to your own inner being, which is the Hermit, is the solitary being going within, praying. Yesterday a friend came over and we sat and said the rosary, the full rosary, and just the resonation of praying like that, with full-on meaning and with our hearts wide open, I felt so cleansed afterward. And it doesn't have to be the rosary. It could be a mantra that you hold dear. It could be a special prayer like the one of St. Francis of Assisi. It could be a chanting, Tibetan chanting. But whatever it is, the connection to our inner being through prayer and solitude and inner contemplation right now will then assist us to get through this week. What is above us right now? What is above us right now is that we've kind of done all we can and we're waiting for the next step, but we don't feel into the next life yet. This is the card of the farmer who's planted all the seeds, but now he has to wait for the sprouts and the crop to come to fruition. So many of us right now are wishing, I just wish it was 6 weeks from now. I wish this was all over, but we can't. We got literally about 6 to 7 weeks. So that's that 7 there. That's what's over us right now, is that we all feel in some kind of suspended place right now. What's going on in the subconscious of most people right now? Okay, this is the upside down card that came out. So this is the Four of Swords. Normally the card would be upright, and it would mean that you're taking a break from life and you're resting and you're in a sense of restoration and recuperation. Because the card is inverted, it means we are not taking a break from the distraction. We are feeling isolated, alone, pulled by the outer world, to feel insecure, to feel exhausted by it, that we just have to lie down, we're so tired. And especially here in California right now, it's been pretty intense with the fires. The air quality has been very bad, and so the oxygen levels in the air have not been good. So this is what we've gone through in the recent past. We've been working hard. We've been doing creative work. We've been working with our hands. We've been working in the earth. We've been attending to practical matters. And we've been trying to put together the structure and foundation of a new life. So this is in the recent past. In the near future, this week, what's coming? We're going to be really looking at COVID. This is the card of feeling blocked and isolated and not being able to get on with our lives in the way that we would wish, feeling blocked by outer circumstances, feeling a bit imprisoned. We could feel imprisoned because it's swords by our own thoughts, but we're definitely feeling, if you notice, she's got a blindfold on. She can't see where she's going. And she's got swords all around her, so she doesn't want to make a move in case she cuts herself. So it's kind of this week, it's more of the same as far as being in a bit of a lockdown and not really feeling like things are kicking off. And yet we have had that Jupiter going direct, and soon we're going to have Saturn going direct on the 29th. And Mercury is going to go into Scorpio next week. So there's going to be change coming. There's going to be a shift coming. But right now, during this week, not to be disheartened if things are not moving as fast as you want. Just got to be patient right now. And even if you don't understand the purpose of it all, to just slow and relax. Because when we go into a state of allowing, we become like the river. If you think of a river going down the stream, it's going down by the shore. It is adjusting to the shore. If it hits a big boulder, it's going around the boulder. It is not fighting it. Water adjusts. So what we're being called upon right now is to tremendously adjust to circumstance and situations. Just keep adjusting, even if it's feeling, oh, that's driving me crazy. I'm just going to allow, I'm going to adjust, I'm going to shift my thoughts. It's just like really constant, but this week seems like it's going to have its challenges. The fate or destiny of this week, it's going to be great. What it's saying is the magician has got all of the tools at his hands. He can make magic. It's not as hopeless as it appears. And he's got the sword of truth there. He's got the pentacles for work. He's got the cups for emotion. And he's got the wand of fire and spiritual enlightenment. So what is it saying? That as we're going through these times, our fate and destiny is going to bring us to the recreation of a new life. Maybe accessing tools or parts of ourselves or of our personality or our creative genius that we never even knew existed. So that will be the exciting part. Like I think I told some of you before, when I started my business consulting firm in Calgary, it was during the oil bust and everybody had lost their jobs because Calgary is an oil city, and nobody knew what to do. So what did people do? They started writing down what they would really love to do. And they came to me for business plans and to find them the seed capital to start up a new venture. And some of them did something completely alien to what they'd ever done before, and they were excited and happy about it. So the magician is saying we can remake our lives and transform our lives magically and actually have better lives. So this card is saying, how is it going to go in our relationships? It looks like it will be in a forward movement with our relationships if we remember the hermit, if we remember to keep going within and not being reactive, but more going within and finding the divine love and kindness within your heart, and also the clarity and the wisdom. Love and wisdom go together, so one without the other is not as effective. Because with wisdom, we know how to use the love, how to give the love, how to spread the love, according to the situation in the moment. Our hopes and fears right now. We feel frightened, we feel painfully afraid of loss. This is the card of loss. And we see our mates, or our fathers, or our husbands, or our sons, or the male part of ourselves that has been out there doing a male expression in the world. We see that feeling a bit defeated right now. This is a fear. This is not what's going to happen. This is what we're fearing, that we're going to have tremendous loss. And the outcome of this week, this is a card, it's a marvelous card. It's a card of entrepreneurial endeavors. The person has turned their back on what they did before, or even if they decide to do what they did before, they're doing it in a new way. This is the card of being ignited to create new projects, to be the entrepreneur of your own life. And he's watching, he's waiting for his ship to come in the distance. He's looking off over the water, waiting for his ship to come. But it's a positive card. So by the end of this week, I would say that the clarity that we start out with, we're going to end the week with a sense of knowing the clarity is going to come to us if we take the time to go inward and don't allow ourselves to waste all our energy and to become exhausted by the outer world. That we actually could have quite profound creative ventures, be thinking in terms of what's on our plate, in terms of opportunity rather than disaster. And the card that we turn to with the Holy Spirit to help us get through this week. This is the card of allowing the child within, the innocence of our childhood, the sweetness of friendships, being there for each other. This little boy is bringing flowers to the little girl and looking out for her and making sure she's safe. So it's also a merciful card, and it's a card of reunion with those that we long to be with, but for some reason can't see right now from the pandemic, or financially, or maybe they have died and we can't be with them anymore physically. But it is a card of reunion and of knowing they're there, and of happy memories from childhood, or happy memories of days past with people that we love and care about. So it would be good this week to pick up the phone and call someone that you really love and haven't spoken to in a while, not text, but actually a human voice, or to be on Zoom together, a human face talking to a human face, to get together with people that you love and care about. We don't know how long each of us is here. This is a week of bolstering each other with loving kindness, as I guess are all weeks, but this week in particular, this is the card I got of what would get us through this week. And I will be back on to do the new moon in Virgo, but I just wanted to give an overview of the week, because I do see there will be challenges. There'll be times when we feel frustrated, blocked, and stuck. But there is movement through that. So don't get downhearted if that happens in your life. Just hold to your faith and access your gifts and take steps day by day. Thank you. God bless you. If you would like a personal reading, you can connect with me at angelicmercy44@gmail.com. Thank you so much. Bye.